right? We got to know about what is software development life cycle, and we also got to know about the process, how software is engineered, and we learned why that is important process, right? We learned why that is important process to engineer the software. Actually, we discussed that. So since information is one of the most valuable economic resources, since information is one of the most valuable economic resources, it is required the engineering process. Okay, we learn about that. And now today what we are going to discuss about, we are going to discuss further things about these flowcharts. Flowchart is we learned that flowchart is the planning tool which can be used in software engineering. So this is the example that we have discussed last day. So we just learn these symbols: start and stop symbol, process symbol, input output symbol, data flow symbol, decision symbol, and connector symbol. Then using those symbols, we have created small program, and I ask you to install Pydroid in your mobile phone if you have a mobile phone, or if you're using a computer or PC or laptop, I ask you to install Python, ideally 3.x or some Python version. So for an example, you can go to this site, right? And you can download Python IDLE. Here you can use python.org to download Python IDLE, and I'm going to send you the links. So these are the links. You can either go to this link, or you can download from just by Googling. You can download this from many places, but my recommendation is you go to the official site, which is python.org, and download it from there. So currently you have Python 3.9.2. That is also okay, or you can download any previous version like 3.6, 3.7. Anything is okay, but make sure you download some 3.x version, right? Make sure you download some 3 point version. Okay, so if you are done with that, right? If you are done with that, then, right, if you are done with that, then today you can do the activity with me. So please make sure that please do the activity with me, right? Okay, so before doing that, let's do a small ice breaking exercise, small thing. So I'll write small question. Please write down the question. Please write down the question. Draw a flow chart. Draw a flow chart. Draw a flow chart to input three numbers. To input three numbers. Find the total and average of those three numbers. Find the total and average of those three numbers. Draw a flow chart to input three numbers. Find the total and average of those three numbers. And display total and average as the outputs. Display total and average as the outputs. Okay. So shall we do this quickly? So you have to draw a flow chart to input three numbers, find the total and average of those three numbers, and display the total and average. Right? Please write the question. If there are anyone who joined today, right? Anyone new today, let me just show the previous one we did last week. That is basically, So we started, we input two numbers. For input, we are using this symbol, Putte. Right? To input, we using parallelogram, this symbol. Start, anything should be started, right? So this very easy to draw a flowchart because anything should be started. Start and stop is must. Start and stop is must. Those are must having symbols. And in between, you have to write the inputs. So input two numbers, you can say number one, number two. Then if you want to process, find the total. You can say total equal number one plus number two. That's okay. And if you want to take a decision, use diamond symbol. If you want to connect multiple paths, you have to use connector symbol. Data flow symbol is arrows. Those are used to show the data flow. So this is the last week exercise. We just input two numbers, found the total, displayed the total and stopped. Similar to that, what you have to do today, input three numbers, find the total, average, display those total and average as the outputs. Shall we do this quickly? Within like 1 minute you can do. Shall we do this quickly? Right, 1 minute is over now. Let's discuss, right? So draw a flowchart to input three numbers. If you get this kind of question, it's very easy. Fortunately, you will not get this kind of question because this is too easy. So anyway, you know the symbols. Starting symbol is ellipse, and or you can use rounded rectangle. Stopping symbol is also the same. Just mention start there and stop there in the last one. You can use rounded rectangle or ellipse. Stop. You have start and stop both, right? Okay. Then in between you have inputs. Inputs are actually displayed, or inputs are represented by using this parallelogram. You can say input n1, n2, n3, because you are going to input three numbers. You have to give names to those three numbers. These names are very important. We will learn the concept of variable names today. So these are called variable names. It's very important. Or identifier names, right? Then you need to add these three numbers. That can be done by using a process symbol. Process is rectangle. You can add and assign to another identifier, n1, n2, and n3 need to be added and assigned to an identifier. Then what you have to do is find the average. Average is total, or you can say number one, number two, number three divided by 3, or you can directly say it's total divided by 3. And finally, you have to display the total and average. That can be done using output symbol. Input, output, same symbol. You can print or output or display anything. Total and average. But make sure to use the same symbol names, same identifier names. Whatever you have used previously, make sure you are using the same. Same tot here, same AVG here, same tot here, same N1, N2, N3 here. So those are all identifiers. So don't change it. Don't change the identifier in the program. Don't change it in the middle. Right, okay. So let's connect this quickly using the data flow arrows. Okay, this is the answer. I think everyone got the answer, no? Is there any doubt? Anyone? Any doubt? doubt Okay, if you don't have doubt, let me ask question. If you don't have doubts, I can ask question. Okay, so let me know. Can we write this as three parallelograms without mentioning in a one parallelogram? Can we add this and can we show three parallelograms instead of one? Is it possible?
Can, sir.
Yes, it is possible. It is possible to have 3 parallelograms. No harm. You can have 3 parallelograms. So here also you can mention in a one process. If you want both, you can merge and display as a one process. That is also possible. Here also you can have 2 parallelograms. No error, no issue. But anyway, you have to use the symbols correctly and the arrows correctly and the letters correctly. Okay, so then another thing, so we have to learn today, that is pseudocodes. Pseudocode is nothing other than just structured English to explain the same flowchart. So this is a general code written using, please write down, written by using structured English to explain the program. To explain the program. It is not a run-in version. So pseudocode is general code written by using structured English. It's not a run-in code. Pseudo means in singular you call vyaj. Pseudo means not exact, not actual. It's false. False code. False code means you can write anything. But make sure don't write sentences. Don't write sentences. Some people are writing sentences. Start the program. Enter the numbers. Just don't write that. So that is also correct, but don't write, no need to write like that. You can just say, okay, start. You can say begin, just begin. And you can say input, same thing, N1, N2, N3, input, right? And if you want, you can mention the data types also, right? Integers. And you can say total equal N1 plus N2 plus N3. And you can say average, which is equal to total divided by 4, total divided by 3, and you can display the total and average, and that's all. And so it's any false code which looks like working, but it's not working, right? This is not working if you cannot run this code. So you can write you can write the both in your book. To make sure, can you tell me how many of you are using mobile phones and how many of you are joining with computers? Who are the students using mobile phones? Who are using mobile phones?
Me, sir.
Let me, yes.
Me,
Any other?
sir.
I also.
Sachini, yes, okay.
I also, sir.
With me.
Me
3 are
too,
using
sir.
mobile phones. Tiasha?
Me
Mobile.
too, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 are using mobile phone. Have you installed Pydroid? PYDI Pydroid software? This one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please install. If not, please install, right? PYDROID. So it's compulsory. Right. No worries. You can use your mobile phones in programming, not like earlier days, right? Earlier days when we were in university and when we were doing programming, even in our A levels, we didn't have that facilities. So we used to type SMSs. Actually, if you want to remember the code, we type pseudocodes, not actual codes, because there is no environment to run that code. If you want to run the code, it's required to find a computer, but that was so rare. In my village, we had 2 computers. And for entire village, only 2 computers were there at that time. Right? And if to use computer without any trouble, need to go to the university. But in university also, it is not possible. It was not possible to use in the basically lecture hours. I and one of my friends, actually, he is now senior software engineer. We use computers after 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. we use computers in the lab. So normally security guard comes and telling that he came and yes, he used to tell that. So now we are going to close the lab. You two have to go home. Right? Then only we start moving out from the university. We are late comers usually. We come to the university in late hours. That means we wake up late and come to the lectures as late comers. And again, the same thing. We are the late leavers. We were the late leavers. Right? We left the so we went so our hostel. We went our hostel at like 10:30, sometimes 11. If security forget to close the doors, it's 11 p.m. likewise. So we were struggling. Yes, we were struggling a lot to do this. But we learned this because we really love programming. We did a lot of experiments. Actually, my initial hobby is collecting viruses. It's not writing programs. The first computer hobby was collecting viruses. When there was a virus, I used to travel, don't mind. So where's the location? I had like 16 MB pen drive, 16 megabyte pen drive. I go with that pen drive and I copy the virus and come to my place back. And why I was collecting viruses? Because I want to write the same virus code, malicious code. That's why I was collecting viruses. And therefore, I had a nice nickname in my university starting from virus. Right? I don't want to share the card, but anyway, my card started with virus. Right? Okay. Right. Shall we go for the actual programming? Okay, before that, actually, I need to give you something, some extra thing that is about identifiers. Identifiers. This is like special note. Right? Identifiers. Identifiers are the names used by us when naming variables, constances, methods, classes, etc. Constants. Right, identify the names used by us when naming variables, constants, methods, classes, etc. Example, N1 is identifier, tot is identifier, AVG is identifier. There are few rules when adding such identifier. Start with a letter. Cannot start with a number, but we can use numbers in the middle or at the end. Right. So I always explain why I write note with you. Otherwise, I feel boring. I will. So I have the note still. This is like more than 100 times I have written the same note. So I'm developing my typing skills by typing the note real time, as well as I don't want to share the same material again and again and become lazy. So I want to actually I want your contribution also. So that can be, otherwise you will see what's in the bottom. But note is now it's real time. You don't know what's going to come next. until I introduce that. Okay, start with a letter. Cannot start with a number, but can use numbers in the middle or at the end. No spaces. No spaces between letters or words. No spaces are allowed. No spaces are allowed between letters or words. That is the third rule. No spaces are allowed between letters or words. Next thing, no special symbols are allowed. No special symbols are allowed other than underscore. Underscore means, you know, this sign, underscore. This is called underscore. Within bracket, this one is called underscore. Avoid using keywords. That means keyword means reserved words by the programming language. There are some reserved words by programming languages. So dedicated or reserved words. So better avoid using those reserved words. For an example, print is a reserved word. Print is a reserved word. Let's say example, print is a reserved word. So not, and if is a reserved word. Else is a reserved word. For is a reserved word. Likewise, there are some reserved words. So better avoid those reserved words. Okay, quickly write this one and let me know once you are done. Right, okay. So let's go and write the program. So you can use two things. You can use either Pydroid, Pydroid, this one, or you can use IDLE. So if you are using IDLE, search like this, go to your Windows button and search IDLE, and it will give this kind of thing. I'm using Mac, so you cannot, so it's similar to, don't worry, Python is, it's supporting cross-platform programming, right? Cross-platform programming is, you can either write Python in Mac, you can write Python in Linux, you can write Python in Android, or you can write Python in Windows, anything. It will support all the operating systems, so no worries. So the same thing you can use in your mobile phone or in your PC or laptop, anything. So you'll get this kind of interface. Please go to the new file, right? Please go to a new file, file new. Then you will get empty file like this, empty file like this. But still don't close this shell. You can see my version is Python 3.6.7, and you may be using the same kind of version like Python 3.9 something. Okay, so first thing, how to give output. So you can say print, that's why I said print is a keyword. You can give hello world, hello world, print hello world, right? I don't know whether you feel this thing, right? Let me tell, when I was first started writing programming, right, I also started with printing hello world, and I can imagine how wonderful that was, right? මන් දන්නේ ඒක ඔයාලටත් එහෙම දැනෙයිද කියලා. ඒ දවස්වල කම්පියුටර් එකකින් ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකක් ලියලා කම්පියුටර් එකේ එක මැසේජ් එක ආපහු අපිටම කියයි. So that's the thing that happening, no? You instruct the computer to show this, and computer will show this to us. Then you will feel extreme happiness if you love programming, right? I actually I had that experience. I don't know whether you are having the same. Okay, print within quotation hello world, within quotation hello world, and save the file. Just go to file, save, and you can give any name that you like. Let's give your name or anything. I'm going to give 2022 example1 dot py, 2022 example1.py, just to identify your batch, because I'm having different batches. 2025 example1.py. Py is the extension. Okay, just save it and run this. When you run this, you will see hello world. How to run this? In run menu, in run menu, you have run module, or you can press F5. After saving, in run menu, you can press or run menu, run, you have to select run, or you have to select F5, F5 function key 5. Are you getting the result, guys? Results, no results, nothing. Share the experience with me. I'm really happy if you can get some output. I think you are not happy with the results. Is that? Okay, if you want the steps, please tell me, then I can tell you the steps again. Open your IDLE, go to file new, that will give a new file. That will give a new file. Right? Then, so this is not required. This red color one is called comment. Comment means it is not related to the programming. It's just to explain the program. This is not related to the program, but it explains the program. Then print within bracket hello world and save the file by going to file menu, save as, save the file as 2022 example1.py, save, and then go to the run menu, run module, and you can see the output hello world there. Okay or not okay? Expecting your answers, guys.
Okay, sir.
Okay, got the answer? All of you? All of you? Only one said okay. Others not ready for the programming. So please install and let me know, right? Then only I can so ensure that you are learning this. Otherwise, like you just listening and learning two things. Right? Learning, you need the activity. So that's why the specialty of this lesson. This is like 25% of your syllabus. This lesson covers 25% of your syllabus. syllabus again. So without the practicals, you will only get 5% or 6% out of that 25. Okay, I hope everyone has done that. Okay, so then the next one, how to get input, how to get an input, how to get an input. So that can be done. First, you have to actually mention an identifier. You have to mention an identifier. Let's say number one. N1 is my identifier. So please see that no spaces. Cannot write N1. Cannot write num1 with spaces. No dashes, num1. No, special symbols are not allowed. Num underscore 1, allowed, can do. Num space 1, no, wrong. Can you use one num? One num, not around. Can you use one num? No, because you cannot start with a number. Right? You have to be careful. Use num1. I'm using num1 without spaces. And I'm telling input. Then a message. Enter number 1. That is my message. And after the message, I just want to print this num1, which is obtained. After obtaining the input, you have to display the obtained input. Display the obtained input. Okay, I have taken, so here's my code. You can see in the second line, I have taken the input, and in the third line, I have displayed that as an output. Let's run this again. Now you can see, hello world, enter number 1. I'm entering a number, I'm telling a number. It prints the number back to me. It prints the number back to me. Please try this too. Inserting or inputting a number and printing the number. Now you know how to input, how to print. Input and output. Now you know both. Now you have a task. මම මේක නිකන් කියලා දුන්නේ නැහැ. බලාපොරොත්තුවක් තියාගෙන තමයි කියලා දුන්නේ. කිසිම කෙනෙක් නිකන් උදව් කරන්නේ නැහැ. හරිද? දැන් මමත් ඔයාලට නිකන් උදව් කරේ නැහැ. බලාපොරොත්තුවක් තියාගෙන තමයි උදව් කරේ. මගේ බලාපොරොත්තුව, my expectation is I just need you to write this program now in Python. I just need you to write this program now in Python. I just need 3 inputs, find the total, find the average, and display total and the average. Can we please do this? I'll give you like 3 minutes to complete. So shall we do this quickly? This program, please convert that to a Python program, a running version. Okay, if you don't have Python installed, so don't feel upset. I'll give you a chance, right? Because anyway, internet is friendly enough to give you the environment. Right, this is, I'm going to go to online Python. You have this online Python editor. Okay. So therefore, no need to worry. If you don't have PyDroid, if you don't have Python installed in your computer, just write the Python code in this link. Mama chat ke link එකක් එවුවා පුතේ. Please go to this link and start writing the Python code there. You can write it there. Here, same code, if I copy and write it here, you can see when I run this, it's asking me enter number 1. I'm giving the number 1. You can see the output is given. So same output. So you can write the program there in this Python compiler. Right, I have sent the link to you. Please use that link. Please use that link and you can start running. That is online. So you are online now. No? Sometimes you are having problems. You join today and you don't know about the IDLE. That is one problem. The second problem is you don't have space in your mobile phone. That is another problem. And the third problem is your computer is not working these days. Right. Fourth problem is you don't have internet connectivity to download this. Likewise, you will have multiple problems. I know that. But since you are online, you can use this compiler. So nothing prevent you using this. So please use it. Use it to write the program that I have given. Input 3 numbers, find the total and the average, and print the total and the average. So let's do that.